Hi, it's Michelle. Welcome back. So great to see you guys. So I had a really fun reading month in April. I've already done a video for half my reads. I had a few interesting ones in there. And then this is kind of a follow-up wrap-up for the second half of April. So let's jump in. I'm going to start off this video talking about a sequel I was supremely excited about, and that is Blood and Honey, which of course is the sequel to Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maheron. And I was so excited. So we were looking at doing a buddy read. It didn't quite pan out, which I was a little bit disappointed about. But oh my gosh, this book, the videos that I've seen for it kind of came across rather mixed, and people were saying that the second installment wasn't as good. It was a different installment. So it was, what's the best way to explain this? The tone was very different. So the first book was a witch hunter. They forced into matrimony. Here we go down this journey. Eventually he discovers she's a witch. You know, I don't want to spoil too much, but all these things sort of happen, and, you know, she's kind of running away from her past. Someone's sort of after her to kind of kill her, and her husband gets very involved and ended up saving her, and this lovely little lovely relationship and kind of comes into the fold, and they really seem to be somewhat truly married, although they didn't really marry accurately since they both kind of gave false names in some sense. Anyway, here we dive into Blood and Honey. They've kind of escaped the noose, so to speak, and the book starts out obviously on a very different note. They're already married. She's got to Lou's got to kind of go down this path and figure out, like, you know, how does she get out of this permanently? She's got to find some new allies, which is kind of interesting and to see how all of this is done. But while she goes down this path, in the first book, she started out, you know, she had kind of forsaken magic somewhat because she didn't want to get caught, so she was not using it. Here she obviously starts, you know, she's escaped the noose, everybody knows she's a witch, and she starts using it again. And it was interesting to see how she actually started falling down the rabbit hole, and it was kind of a case of, as typical with power, like, do you run away with it? Does it run away with you? Or, you know, can she hold on to who she is? Which I really enjoyed. When I say the tone was different, the first book, it's very evident how much she loves life and how much she kind of riles Reed and gets him going. And, you know, I laughed so much at the first book. The second book was missing that witty banter. This one was very much, she's straying down a dark path. Reed's kind of worried about her. Is she going to kind of stay on the good side of things, go to the bad side of things? He's trying to kind of save her from herself. Can't save someone that doesn't want to save themselves, which is, again, very evident here. So a lot of that witty banter wasn't really around. Reed's still very much a cut and dry character. Everything's either very good or very bad. It kind of gets there a little bit more towards the end, but he's still a very straight-laced, traditional, he didn't have much character growth here, which I have to admit I was hoping for more character growth and him changing a little bit more and kind of coming to terms with the fact that his wife is a witch. But it was a little bit absent. So we missed the witty banter. There wasn't quite as much love for life. It was literally they were fighting for their lives in this book. And, you know, that narrow edge of, is she going to fall to the dark side or manage to kind of stay in control of herself? And and if she fell to the bad side, obviously she'd kind of be following her mother's path, which, in this book ain't the best thing to do. Anyway, it was fun. I do think, however, it was a very strong second installment. I enjoyed it. The story developed. Just because the tone differed didn't mean that it made it a poorer book in my standards. Anyway, still kept me up, still kept me enjoying it. So that was the first one I just wanted to chat about. And then I went on and I read a very, very popular book series, which I've had on my shelf for a little bit. It came in one of the other book hauls I did, and I was super excited to get it. And the covers are so beautiful, and I loved how beautiful the books are. And the little imagery that's, you know, at the top of the pages and at the beginning of each chapter is just absolutely phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. It really gave it this folksy, fairy sort of feel. And that is the Era of the Folk series by Holly Black. I went blank there for a second. And that starts out with The Cruel Prince, The Wicker King, and then The Queen of Nothing. So this series, I'm going to go through with you guys very quickly. We have Jude and Jude's twin sister Taryn, and you kind of start out the book where Jude, Taryn, and then she's got an older sister Vivian who's half fairy. There's this fairy land that is sort of hidden from people, but sort of off their shore, and she's obviously living with her family, her mom, her dad, in the mortal world, and this guy comes, knocks on the door, and kills her mom, kills her dad, and it turns out it's her eldest sister's real dad, and takes them all because now, you know, it's his wife. Because his wife had other kids, they're all his responsibility, so he takes them all back to Fairy and brings them up. And he is this red cap who is kind of like a bloodthirsty general in the army, and he teaches them all about fighting and strategy and all these things. So she ends up being quite a phenomenal little force in her own right, but she is very insecure, although she doesn't always show it. Very insecure, very unsure of who she is. She's trying to kind of establish her own feet in the fairy world, and she is being bullied by Carden, what's his name? L, something with an L. Can't think of his name right now, but anyway. Locke. Anyway, there you go. Locke. Carden, Locke, and then there's one or two others there. I can't remember who they are either. But anyway, a group of 4 of them, they end up getting bullied by these 4, you know, like noble fae people in her classes. And she actually seems to cope with it fairly well, which I take my hats off to. But the relationships in here are so damn dysfunctional. Like, you know, it's herself and her sister, and at some points, these guys that are bullying them say, like, we won't bully you. They say this to her sister, we won't bully you as long as you forsake your sister. She's on her own. And then she does it. Like, what is a sister for? What is family for if they're not going to cover your, you know, be there for you and support you, especially in situations like this? But anyway, ends up being a few other betrayals. Like I said, the relationships are super dysfunctional. I mean, she got brought up by a guy who she kind of treats as her father, but who killed her mother. This guy killed her mom and her dad. So really weird, but I don't know, it all sort of pulls together. Anyway, I kind of started the book very removed, and about halfway in I was like, whoa, and the political intrigue got me, and I sort of dived in and really enjoyed where it went from there. And all these like hashed plots kind of came in. I sort of predicted the end, but regardless, it ended up being a lovely end anyway. And the Cruel Prince moves on to the Wicker King. And in the Wicker King, again, more political intrigue, more scheming. Like, I just loved the scheming. It was so much fun to read. And she ends up becoming, because of what she's done and her, you know, her training politically and how she's kind of learned to maneuver the chess pieces and things, she ends up becoming like the right hand of the king and essentially rules the country for him. And of course, Carden's in the picture, and you have Carden and Jude, and this banter sort of comes along, and you can read between the lines that one likes the other one likes, you know, they like each other, but because it's said in such a way, it can be misconstrued, and they don't want to be tricked by the other one. So nothing sort of comes to the head, and you think that it's going to be unveiled and they're going to end up together and everything's going to be hunky-dory and fun. And the end of the book comes, and oh my gosh, like, how can a book end there? It jaw dropped me. I was like, no, that is like such a betrayal. How can that happen? No, really. Anyway, jumps into the 3rd book, and the 3rd book, Jude is let me start again. So, the Queen of Nothing, I kind of had to backtrack here and delete a few things because I realized I was adding some spoilers, and I didn't really want to add spoilers for you guys, but the Queen of Nothing is literally, Jude has to come into Fairy. She's kind of not really, she's in trouble, she's not really allowed there. She comes to help another family member to kind of sort it out, and she gets wrapped back into the political side of things, and lots of little bits and scheming, and these things happen, and there is a twist here that involves a snake coming in and heartbreak, and like you see these things happening, and I got sucked in. I got completely and utterly sucked in, and I had to see the way this book finished. The ending, I really loved it. Oh gosh, I got sucked into this series, guys. It's one of those books that I can really feel like the series deserves the hype. Like, it was fun, it was light and airy, and so much scheming, so much political intrigue. You know, the angst, it was proper for like a young adult novel. There wasn't massive amounts of angst and things like that, but what was there was really cute, really sweet. And it was fun. It was so much fun to read. Any book that keeps me up past my bedtime. I've got 2 little kids, so like they wake me up early. If it keeps me past my bedtime, it is a 5 stars for me. So this was a 5 stars all the way. Sorry, Jill Mansell is one of my absolute favorites. This one I picked up in a secondhand store, or was it online? Someone was selling a few of them. Jill Mansell, To the Moon and Back. So this is such a lovely story with real people that you can just relate to. You have Ellie, who is married very happily, and her husband has this massive car accident and dies. And his best friend is, involved, and her husband's dad is an actor, a famous actor. And obviously they stay very close after the accident, and you watch Ellie kind of go through this grief and figure out where she is with things and how to deal with it. And there are some things in here that are super touching with how she deals with her husband. She almost moves on but holds on to him at the same time. And it's so sweet and sad at the same time, but just so beautiful. And the way that grief is dealt with in this book, I just loved. I loved that the relationship between father-in-law and daughter-in-law just stayed so strong and so special, and they continue to speak about their loved one, and I just thought that was absolutely amazing. And this really is a tale of families, of people refinding love, and when you've lost someone that you love, and you watch her find a new friend. You watch her find a new job. It's super fun. There's a dog involved in here, which is like absolutely in my elements as well. And you watch her fall in love again, slowly but surely, with someone else who, these love stories develop, but I absolutely, I'm not explaining this right at all. I don't feel like I'm explaining this right. But this guy, Zach. So Zach is a pretty well-to-do entrepreneur, and he's looking for a new PA, and he ends up hiring Ellie. And the two of them, there's a lot of angst going on. There's a lot of side relationships that kind of get involved. And Ellie's obviously recovering and grieving over the loss of her husband and getting on with things there, and continuing in this relationship with her late husband's father. And he kind of has got to move on with his life as well. And there's some things that happen on his side. He meets this beautiful painter, and it's just, and she's got, stuff on her own. And it's just so heartwarming and so family orientated and people orientated, and this moving on from grief and how it was handled and the relationships that develop in this book just left my heart warm and fuzzy, and I enjoyed this so much. I read a Nicholas Sparks a couple of months ago and kind of felt sort of predictable. Oh my gosh, guys, if there is anybody that loves like good proper storylines with true, authentic, genuine people who have experienced life, pick up a John Mansell. They are just, I've read a few of them, and well, when I say a few, I've read a handful of them, and every single one has left me feeling like epic, but epic in that real good seated, like you've had a good solid meal, you know. It's just, yeah, it's wholesome. There you go. They're wholesome. I'm gonna stop talking about John Mansell. So guys, I hope you're having lots and lots of fun. I'm kind of diving into something else that's a little bit fun. Actually, the book that I'm reading at the moment is like a tome. It's like 900 pages. So when I finish that, I will visit you guys again and we'll chat about it. I think I'm actually going to read a few things in between, because a 900-page book might keep me going a little while. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a wonderful video. Thanks so much for visiting with me. If you guys have any suggestions for amazing books that maybe you think I'll enjoy, or if you've read any of these, or you know, if you've seen my other video with a book haul and you guys are keen to do like a readathon or something, please comment down below. Anyway, one way or another, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!